Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I am your host, Calvin Tobin. Today we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. All right, the Miami Heat are heading to the NBA Finals as they just beat the Boston Celtics in 7 games in Boston as well. And they are going to be playing the Denver Nuggets for the NBA title. Now, with the Miami Heat, they just beat the Boston Celtics 103-84 in Game 7, where it was not Boston's night at all because right off the bat, Jason Tatum gets hurt by turning his ankle to start off the game, and from there, Boston could never find a way to not struggle because normally the way we see the Boston Celtics play all year long and all playoff long, that got completely turned upside down because once Tatum got hurt, it took a toll on the team in such a way it really made the Celtics look like not themselves because the way this game turned out for the Celtics is that not one player scored over 20. And the Celtics ended up shooting 39% from the field and 21% from 3. And Jason Tatum's teammate Jaylen Brown was a turnover machine. He had a career high of 8 turnovers in the game, and because of that, the Miami Heat were able to feed off those turnovers, which led to more fast break points. They were also able to outmatch the Celtics on their one-on-one games, and they also just completely outran the Celtics the entire time. They were up by as many as 23 points. And if Jason Tatum didn't get hurt and Boston didn't struggle as much, this game could have and would have been a much closer game to watch. And the Celtics were also rolling too from games 4 through 6, beating the Heat by an average of 10 points. But here's the thing. If it wasn't for Derek White having one of the luckiest and clutchest shots in NBA playoff history to force a Game 7, which still ended up going Miami's way anyway, this series should have ended in 6 games, but Miami is still going on and they were able to beat the Celtics by 19 in 7 games. Now the NBA Finals are officially set with the number 1 seed in the Denver Nuggets from the Western Conference to the 8th seed from the Eastern Conference, the Miami Heat. And the Miami Heat are also the second 8th seed in NBA playoff history to ever make the NBA Finals. And Game 1 of the NBA Finals starts this Thursday, June 1st at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC. Now, as the Boston Celtics season has ended, with them coming back and almost making history as they came back from a 3-0 deficit, tying the Miami Heat, the DeAndre Hopkins' tenure has ended in Arizona as he's no longer an Arizona Cardinal, as the Cardinals have just released him on Friday. Now, with DeAndre Hopkins, he is what he did for Arizona is that he ended up playing 3 seasons, caught 221 passes for 2,696 yards and 17 touchdowns. One thing that we need to ask right now, who is going to sign him next? Because originally the Arizona Cardinals were in trade talks with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, but the Arizona Cardinals ended up making the star wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins a free agent. Now it just matters on whose contract he is going to sign. DeAndre Hopkins is going into his 11th season. He has 853 catches for 11,298 yards on 71 touchdowns. And since he's going into his 11th season, his countdown clock for his NFL career is now starting to tick. So I know he wants to win now because that's what he's been ranting about his entire career. And since the Cardinals were in talks with him for the Chiefs and the Bills, in my opinion, I say that DeAndre Hopkins should sign with the Kansas City Chiefs, because the Chiefs don't have a #1 wide receiver, and he would be able to fill that slot, while Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Kadarius Toney could perfectly fill the 2 and 3 slots, while you have Travis Kelce out there over at tight end. And the Chiefs also have a really good shot at signing DeAndre Hopkins too, because just recently Patrick Mahomes came out and said that he doesn't care about money at all. All he does is want to win, and he has enough money that will support him for the rest of his life. So some of that $450 million contract that Patrick Mahomes signed, that could be going to a DeAndre Hopkins future with the Kansas City Chiefs. And the future lies within the finish line of the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs. And the Stanley Cup playoffs are officially here, and this is what the matchup is. The matchup is going to be the Florida Panthers taking on the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And Game 1 will start this Saturday, June 3rd, and it will start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT. Now, with the Florida Panthers, these guys have been on a true Cinderella type of run, because starting all the way back at Game 5, everyone was expecting these Panthers to lose inside 5 games to the great Boston Bruins, who we all thought were going to the Stanley Cup because they had the greatest regular season of all time, getting 65 victories. But ever since Game 5, the Panthers have only lost once, beating the Bruins, the Maple Leafs, and now sweeping the Carolina Hurricanes. While the Las Vegas Golden Knights, they have won every single one of their series in 6 games or less, beating the Jets, the Oilers, and the Stars, scoring 62 goals along the way. They just beat the Dallas Stars in 6 games in the Western Conference Finals, and they beat Dallas in Game 6, 6-0. And what happened in Game 6 is Las Vegas offense started off hot and stayed hot the entire way through, scoring 3 goals in the first, 1 goal in the second, and 2 in the third. But the Las Vegas offense have their defense to thank for that, because Dallas could not get out of their zone at all. They struggled to get out and stay out of their zone, and because of it, it led to miscues, which gave the Las Vegas Golden Knights more scoring chances, which led to more goals scored. Hence the score being 6-0. And now the Las Vegas Golden Knights are in the Stanley Cup for the 2nd time in their career, and they have only been a franchise in the NHL for 6 years. And since they joined the NHL, all they have done is win. They have 267 regular season victories, which is averaging 44 wins per year. They also have 50 playoff wins, and even though it's only been 6 years, of that 6-year tenure in the NHL, they have only missed the playoff once, and they have only missed the conference finals twice, and now they're back in the Stanley Cup to face the Florida Panthers. And the Florida Panthers haven't been in the Stanley Cup since their 3rd year in the league, which was in 1996. And the way that the Florida Panthers have been playing, or the way we expected them to play, they should already be out. And this series, the Florida Panthers should be the underdogs, but because of the way that they have been playing, this series could very well go 7 games. All right, that's the end of the Calvin Tobin Show. Please subscribe to my channel at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports media. And please follow me on Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news whatsoever. And I'm out.